Well, greetings. This is the same view that I showed you last time in a sunset, post-sunset video. Anyway, this is what it looks like about 13, 14 hours later in the morning. And you get to see a little more how crowded the area is. There are these apartment buildings over here. I don't know too much about that complex. And I believe, okay, I think this is a hotel, and this particular one is a condominium or hotel unit. And then down here we've got Sania Bay, the tall one, kind of a upscale for this region, hotel, condominium project, whatever. Got a few hotels along the beach road here. Although I would say the majority of them are, if not closed, are probably operating on very little occupancy. And then as you go further down there, the tall building is still under construction. I believe it's going to be called Marina something or other, and it will be well, there is a marina right out in front of it, and I guess they're hoping for people with boats and yachts to park them there. Further down the beach, or further up the beach, we're looking up to the north, near the point, there's a couple of fairly high-end resorts too. I don't quite recall their names. And then in the bay there, okay, you can see a number of fishing boats. So anyway, this is what's called the Honchong area. I think Vinh Hai is a neighborhood, a name used for the neighborhood too. As I said last night, this road here, the beach road, is called Pham Van Dong. It is a continuation of the main beach road, which is called Tran Phu Street. The street down below, I'm up at the 30th floor. Not sure how good this is coming out. Anyway, this street down here is called Honchong Street. Okay. And then, yeah, now we've got the beach right down below. Relatively small stretch of sand here. It does go up to or down to the south a bit more. You can't see that from my apartment building. It's about 8:30 in the morning, I believe. So this is the time of the day that some of the locals are out. Probably more often the locals are out, say, from about dawn until maybe 8 a.m. And then they have enough sense to get out of the sun from about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock until noon. Pretty much the only people who are out are foreigners. There are a fair number of Russian families living here, and some other foreigners. Anyway, so yeah, that gives you an idea of the view from my apartment, which is called Muang Than. And it's, let's see, what can I tell you? It's a 40-story building. Occupancy is at the moment very, very light. Next door is Muang Thon Hotel. Muang Thon seems to be, Muang Thon, I guess it's pronounced, seems to be a major property developer here in Nha Trang. There's at least 2 Muang Thon apartments. There's one here, and then the other one is right on the Kai River, across the Kai River. Then there's also a Muang Thon Hotel, I believe, and I believe I've seen the name listed in other parts of Vietnam too, as a property name, property developer. Anyway, this is the very far north end of Nha Trang. The mountain directly behind Sania Bay is called Fairy Mountain. I gather there's a legend that a fairy was, or I don't know, somehow the gods or whatever turned a fairy into that mountain, and I think from some viewpoints it does kind of look like a reclining woman. Maybe you got to use your imagination, and I think you get a little more of that sense from the other side of the mountain. It is a popular hiking spot. I've hiked up it a couple of times. This time of the year it's rather warm for hiking. Anyway, yeah, this is, I call it the Hon Chong area of Nha Trang. The advantage for me of this little beach is it's not the clearest today, but that is a coral reef right offshore, and visibility can vary. This is the driest, hottest time of the year, and so conditions should be the best between April and October, I believe, for snorkeling. And it's certainly not like as good as the island trips you can take, the scuba and snorkeling trips. But on the other hand, all I have to do is walk across the street, take the elevator down 30 floors, cross Tran Phu Street, or Phan Van Dong Street, and I am on this beach and in the water in maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Anyway, there are plenty of videos that focus on tourism in Nha Trang that are probably done much better than this with better cameras and drones and whatnot. I just thought I would do a short video talking about living in Nha Trang a little more long term, and I'm kind of focusing more probably on retirees, people like that, people who are looking for a beach area to live, and probably are not on unlimited budgets. I'm not saying that Nha Trang doesn't have its side where you can live relatively lavishly, but it is certainly one of the cheaper retirement or getaway spots in the world. The reality is at the moment that you're not going to get into Vietnam. It's June 27th, 2021. Vietnam is probably locked down much more securely than almost any other country in the world. It has one of the lowest COVID instances of cases in the world, which is kind of nice. But it also has one of the lowest vaccination rates. So they're quite happy to keep foreigners out, even though it's decimated the tourism industry. These hotels, such as Nevada, I believe Nevada and the Da Pho Vina, or Volga Nha Trang, okay, Da Pho Vina is further, all those three are probably open. I can see there's swimming pools at all of them, and I very rarely see anyone up in the pool. I do see the occasional light on, but I would bet most of the time you're looking at 0 to 10% occupancy. Maybe on a good weekend you might get 20% occupancy. Further down or further up the beach, I heard one of the hotels has been turned into a quarantine spot for people coming into Nha Trang from Ho Chi Minh City or other places in Vietnam. So now I believe even to come here from Ho Chi Minh City requires at least 14-day quarantine and possibly 21-day quarantine. The current outbreak is probably at its worst in Ho Chi Minh City now. Anyway, yeah, the visa situation changes, but for the last year, basically, tourist visas are not being offered. About the only people that have been allowed. Here we go. I've been videoing it on Zoom. Anyway, yeah, the only people or the only kind of visas being allowed for entrance into the country have been diplomatic, work, I guess they call those expert visas, and business visas. And the government is currently cracking down on people who entered on business visas but who in fact had no intention of starting a business. That was one of the ways visa agents were offering people to get into Vietnam or to stay longer terms than the tourist visa offers. Maybe I'll call it quits here, and then on the next video I will talk a little more about the visa situation. But as things are, and I'm afraid will be for the near future, you're not going to hop a flight and get to Vietnam as a tourist. And when that will change is anyone's guess, but considering how slow the vaccination rollout is, I'm going to guess 2021 is not going to be your year to visit Vietnam. Things do change, but considering I believe about 1% of the population has been vaccinated so far, don't hold your breath on visiting Vietnam, although you'll be happy if and when you can arrive. Okay, that's it for today.